rotate. Here's the original plate. There's nothing there. So this was a rigging class. And so that's working out the bones and the structure. And then to complete it, we did some light compositing. There's the wireframe. All those little dots are the tracking, so we can have it live with reference inside of Maya. And these are all the different layers, the diffuse, albedo's direct color. Putting it all together through Nuke, and it pumps this out. So here's, it's a little fast there, but you have the turnaround of the burger truck. And then, of course, what I did here for the... You've all seen this already.
Telling you, comes with a video camera. You may choose.
Now, you have never worked in Illustrator before this.
No.
Comes with a video camera.
So, yeah, there was a lot of technical aspects of this, because Danielle did all the graphic design.
But for some patients,
was already
visiting the
hands
hospital
by
or the
Vanessa
doctor
Rivas,
brings added
working with
anxiety.
Daniela.
Imagine not.
And so there wasn't really anything that I could do about that. So the challenge was she used Illustrator. And so these files, they live on their own, and however the artist processes it, they might not have an arrangement or have it organized the way you would think if you were an animator. So you go into the file, because after giving the assignment, meeting with Vanessa Rivas and seeing the project and engaging in it, and then you see that, okay, all of these have already been done in advance. I open up the file, okay, I've got the scenes, laying them out, and you realize, holy crap, it's all just a jumble in here. So she has it all in layers for each scene, but the head is in the same space with all the body parts and other things in the scene. So Illustrator basics room and really was kind of intense. Like I had to, okay, how do I work it at that point if I'm going to make this scene work? And so a couple of YouTube videos later, you know, I'd have to physically take each part, create a folder for an arm if I wanted the arm to go up and down and move. So I'd have to go into Illustrator, isolate everything into files. So reorganizing all the work that she had done just to make that head bob, I'd have to get all the different components and assets that she physically drew in Illustrator, put it in a folder, because that's the only way that After Effects that I was primarily animating it through would recognize that's a whole piece. And then adding in anchor points for each individual moving piece, every single body part, anything that moved essentially. So, oh, where did I go? Uh-oh, I just lost here. Track it back. Yeah, so every single piece here, if there was an arm that had to pivot, I would have to make sure I had that anchor point over here in After Effects, move it around. Color changes for backgrounds like this, you know, that's all in Photoshop, right? So the nice part is you change something in Photoshop. Vanessa Rivas didn't like the purple color, or didn't like this orange quality. Let's take it to that other step based on the branding guides. And so we had a combination we liked. And easily just taking the asset that's already linked over through After Effects and Premiere Pro, and then just going to that single asset, changing its color, and it weaved itself already through all the After Effects. I love that aspect of Adobe where everything worked on, as long as you didn't move your files around, which were always tricky. And so yeah, just pushing that through, making sure all the scenes are individually done, After Effects rendered, and then bring them all into Premiere Pro as completed scenes, and then editing those all together. Yeah, that was pretty intense. But the workflow is going to be a lot easier. I told Vanessa if I was included in the beginning working with the artist, then things would be a lot faster. And kind of developing as we went, oh, I think I can work with a faster workflow now that I know where all my stoppages and all the points in this pipeline go. Next one. Oh, and I just added this. I mean, as far as video editing, This Is All Me. This was Tough Mudder 2013. And I really had fun giving it a feel and a character story, adding in the music background. I really just used a Windows PC, basic video editing they had, you know, and just creating by using the tools that they had there. All trying to light transitions, scrolling through images, give it a little more character, little animations and things added in. Just, you know, like all my work, I like to give a lot of care and thought into how things appear in the final run. So I always had fun things, layering in photos, little cheesy little spin-off of the titling. So this is really my real big edited film / montage that I did. Yeah, it was a really fun event. Just having good and well-timed music timings. Yeah, a little bit of B-roll at the end. Then finish shot. That's that to that. And so going back, I think that was the last animation. I think I'm gonna play stuff in the background. I'll close that. And so this is what I've just currently done for John Muir, and this is how I'll finish it. So this is the old menu. You can see there's still the John Muir, the old classic design. I just kind of reformatted. I know I took a little bit of a little off where the brand is on top of the image. It happens sometimes, and I don't know. That's the way that Shokin liked it, and okay, we'll ride with it. And so there's an example of how our new menu is looking over here in our cafeteria with the newer logos. And I just had a lot of fun here with our screens. You know, for our special days, we had Hispanic Heritage Month. Each week we had different highlighted chefs for Joe Lavilla's menu for the cafeteria. And so I gave them a spotlight and ran them through our screens, our filler screens, we called them, because they didn't have a menu on it. We could just run images of nice food for the customers to look at. And so I filled it up, populated with these themed slides through Exhibio, and as well as having more cultural images. You know, these are just the spotlights. And I had a lot of fun. I like keeping things in theme. Each week was different, and they have kind of a different feel, but I like to keep things cohesive when I work. So these are the other themes. This is Asian AAPI month. And so we had something for each different day of that week. And just, you know, having the Indian feel here, there's a little more Hawaiian, a little more South Asian feel. This was really China, Asia. So keeping that in a certain theme for each day. Pride Month, we had Black History Month, BLM, Juneteenth, I think it was. And this is Women's Day. So everyone's all cohesive. They have like similar, at least there's elements that are shared between. This was a project. This was my other work, my secondary work that I did in Illustrator. Just creating an affirmation tree. They use it in the break room. It's a really big blown up poster. I worked with Tony with this to make sure the file came out right. And just had fun keeping it light and simple based on some brainstorming for the idea. Similar tone to what we already produced. All the coupon work that I've done for John Muir, you've seen a couple of those as well. This was in Photoshop just to help our new hires, because they were getting lost trying to deliver all of our food carts, and they wouldn't make it back sometimes. And so this was nice, creating a chart all the way from the basement. So I have that basement map that I got from Johnny, threw that into Photoshop, gave it an angle, replicated it, cut out all different units, layered them different colors, so people have a good reference for where to get to, how to get to 2A. This is just the front end. I left on my medical leave while I was working on the back end. So this is the back view. You can see here's the East Towers. and then it would stretch all the way through the hallway to the west side. Here's the north and south, and center. So color coding them, make it as best visual for them. You know, if that gets finished, I think it can have good use for the front desk people to give to folks who are trying to see their loved ones. So there's some external application over there.
So keep in mind the wayfinding that just went into the OSC. Play around with that touch screen. You actually have access to that. I got on it the other day. That very well may expand. I mean, they put it in with the intention perhaps that it's going to expand. So that would then be the wayfinding that they would do. So rather than recreate the wheel,
Nice.
We'll see how that where that goes.
Okay. Otherwise, you know, we're definitely going to use this. Just give cards to.
Yeah,
our
absolutely.
well,
In the interim, it's a great way to help people navigate. I know that's a real big and that's been for as long as I can recall a need for people to get to common areas, for example. And in the case of your staff, yes, being able to not get lost in the angled corridors.
Yeah, we get comments like it was too stressful for them. They said they had to leave because they were overwhelmed by all the places they had to go.
The food will get cold, yes.
Yeah. Just little note cards that we did for different points. They were doing some work at Concord, shut down the hot food warmer area because they were doing a lot of renovations, so they only had to put a message out to patients. So, you know, this is early work. I wasn't as familiar branding or as technical until Dennis Brown gave me the Bible. 9-brand Bible.
Oh, thanks marketing for that one. That's actually a very good, it goes into great detail, typography, composition, colors, templates. Even they have on their brand hub, we were looking at it, Ramon, the naming conventions for locations and services. And also the way in which you write action versus, you know, so there's a clearer communication. So yeah, it's a good starting place.
Yeah, so please excuse, I probably made a few mistakes as far as the branding guidelines, because some of these
no, it's fine. No, it's you're looking at it and it comes by doing. Yeah.
Worked with Jeremy, created this little book. I'm not sure if you saw that annual report that went out. Little design stuff.
Did you end up using those photos of the food for any of the food events of the month too, Ramon? What we were doing?
Yeah, I've been researching
all those
catalogs. The hard part was I didn't write down